Right. Cheek, chink.
Cheers. Thank you
Cheers.
for having me over
We're
again.
going to try a little bit. This is a bit of my chamomile tea there.
Oh, good. I was going to say. So I was just going to say, you've got loads of things on this table. We don't normally have all of this.
Yeah.
I'm normally treating to a smoked salmon bagel, but this is like a
That
plethora.
will be afterwards.
So what have we got here, Irene?
Right. So it's just to give you, because you seem interested, and I'm going to help you with your eating plan.
Yes.
Just to give you a flavour of some of the stuff that I enjoy,
Right.
that are healthy,
Okay.
and some of the vitamins that I take, just to supplement, because I like them because they're in a gummy form.
Okay, yeah.
These are all gummies. It's like eating Sweeties.
So it's like well, it's not 5 a day, it's 12 a day here, isn't it, really?
Some time of each day, I have at least 4 or 5 of this.
Okay.
So, oily fish.
I love fish. Fish is probably my go-to
It's
food.
my go-to. So, any oily fish, prawn, salmon.
I don't think I've ever eaten a prawn, I'm not going to lie.
I'm going to try. You don't want to try?
I'll try one. I don't think I've ever had one before.
Right, go on.
So I'm 28 and I've never eaten a prawn, but I genuinely haven't. Okay.
But they're unadorned, they're undressed.
Right.
And you put some nice French dressing on,
Yeah.
and you have it with a nice salad, a piece of I've discovered a fabulous bread,
Okay.
which is a bread with olive oil.
Ooh.
So I love the Mediterranean way of eating.
Right. So talk to me about that.
I think it's because I did my history. And in the 17th century, we lived in Italy.
Right. Like everybody.
Pardon?
Like everybody.
Well, yeah, my ancestors.
Oh, your ancestors, okay.
My ancestors, so this is why I'm partial to that way of eating. Plus, as a teacher of 40 years, I haven't found a successful diet in the sense of there are brilliant dietitians, their programs are brilliant, but they're not sustainable. Or, should I say, people can't be bothered long term.
That's my issue.
You can't hop in and out. So if you find yourself a reasonably sensible, I call my eating plan bloody common sense, because that's what it is.
Right, okay.
ECS. A little bit of everything.
Okay, so you could eat chocolate and...
Yeah, but not with such joy as you're describing. It's not a meal. You can't have a chocolate meal.
Right,
you can have a piece of chocolate or maybe some dessert after you've had a meal.
Yeah.
I think, to sustain a good eating plan and to stabilise your weight and your blood sugars and everything, I don't encourage people to have sugar and caffeine between meals.
So have them with a meal, right?
Yes,
right,
yes,
okay.
yeah.
So if I wanted a glass of red wine, to drink it with my meal rather than
halfway
anywhere
through,
else.
just get a bit of food on your belly and then drink it.
Okay.
Don't be tempted between meals to have it. If you seriously want to not have to reduce anything to eat healthily, those are just a few tips.
Right, okay.
Because if you start having that caffeine, stimulation and sweetness, it will lead you to the biscuit tin. It's hard to get back on track.
Yeah.
So mix your foods, have a protein, a carbohydrate, some fruit or vegetables.
I was going to say, you've got strawberries here. These are your favourites by the looks of things. I
love strawberries. So this would be a really nice lunch for me.
Okay.
I'd have some oily fish. I'd put some nice salad dressing on.
Yeah.
I like them dressed. I mean, people like it raw. I prefer something on it. I'd probably have a little bit of bread with it because you need a bit of carb.
Yeah.
It's an energy food.
Yeah.
And a bit of salad and a few strawberries.
Okay.
And I might just put... So I'm talking like salad side plates.
Right.
I know men say they need more, but then your stomach is probably bigger, but you don't.
Well, I've always remember.
There's your tummy.
I always remember you saying to me that the size of your stomach is your hands put together, and never to eat more on your plate than what you can fit in your hands. Is that right?
But you see, you can't physically measure it because if you stuck your food in your hands, no, but you can do it with a baked potato. You can actually put a baked potato there and fill it with a bit of this, and then you've got your meal.
Oh right, okay, that makes sense.
Or a piece of toast, right?
Yeah.
And chamomile tea. I find chamomile tea is really, really good for calming you.
Yes.
It's also, it sort of clears your mind.
It is good, the chamomile tea.
It is. First thing in the morning, I like a builder's brew. I shouldn't, but I do.
Right.
I like a nice cup of tea. I don't have fancy milk. I like a bit of proper milk in mine. But whatever milk you take, or coffee or anything, I don't cut out anything. And I eat, I'm fortunate because I'm in this job that I'm burning so much.
Yeah.
But if I had to watch my food intake, I'd eat this sort of thing. I'd be more mindful. No caffeine and sugar between.
Yeah.
And no, and alcohol is got both caffeine and sugar. It's a pleasure. So's chocolate, but have it with a meal.
Right.
If you share a dessert with a friend, say at the end of a meal, or you have a bit of chocolate at the end of the meal, in an ideal world, we'd all like to dip our chocolate in our tea and eat it all day, but it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nothing that's overstimulating, but you don't need to cut out.
Right, okay.
And you know, I always mix. I have a carbohydrate, I'll have a piece of toast with an egg, have some fruit, have baked potatoes. I'm not very keen on meat and chicken. I have nothing to do with weight.
Right.
Just not very keen. I'm more of a fish.
Yeah.
But I would have I'm quite happy to have baked potato with some mince in it.
Okay.
And I do prefer proper mince to corn. Corn if you're vegetarian, there's plenty you can eat.
Yeah, there is now, isn't there?
And then I've also found a way. Now, ideally, we get everything in our diet, but the food is not like it used to be. The soil's not like it used to be. The seas are not like. So sometimes you need a bit of a supplement, especially as you get older. And so I found gummies.
Gummies.
Those are multivitamin.
Multivitamin gummies.
Yes, they've got every vitamin in them.
So when do you take these? Do you just take them in the morning, or do you take them with food?
It says take this sort of thing with food. You don't have to. I think that's 2 a day.
Right, okay.
And they taste so delicious that I could eat the bottle, but I don't.
So these are just like, they give you all the sort of vitamins that we would have got from the soil when the soil was rich.
Diet when we were kids. I've discovered, now I don't know whether this would apply to you, Jack, but you've got to try one.
I've got one here. So it's turmeric and black pepper.
Right, now, as you get older, oh God, as you get older, I don't know how much older I'm going to get, but this is great for joints.
Tell you what, you'd read turmeric and black pepper and think it's spicy, but it tastes really sweet. It tastes like orange.
Well, it does. It's probably got some orange, but it has no sugar in it, no additives in it.
That's really good.
So you can take 2 of those a day.
Mm.
I do. Now, this, brilliant for, I think if this makes you feel, it's a very old-fashioned way for the immune system. People have taken ashwagandha it's a type of herb. They've taken it in teas for years.
Yeah, it's quite Asian, like American Indian tribes and things like that used to use it a lot in teas.
They use it in teas. You can get teas in it. I have had teas in it. I'm not really keen on the taste, but these are gorgeous. So, you know what? I know it should be said, and it is said, that you do not need anything extra. But, and maybe you don't, but considering how the food chain is now, I think these supplements, and they're nice to take.
Yeah.
And it's just adding a bit.
Yeah, it gives you that little bit of boost.
But I would never take this instead of proper food. It's as well as.
Yeah.
So if you feel a bit tired, that one. If your joints are aching, that one. Now, apple cider vinegar. I don't know whether you've heard of it, cider vinegar. It's been sold for years for everything.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the secret of eternal strength and youth and everything.
Okay.
Maybe it's a bit of an overclaim. There's nothing, you know. But it's lovely in this juice. I've discovered this juice. It's like an apple cider tonic. So
it's got apple cider, raspberry, and it's like a source of vitamin C. So it looks, you know what, it looks delicious. It's got apple juice in it.
No sugars.
No sugars, just
not
all
made
natural,
from
yeah.
Everything natural.
So one of these a day as like a little sort of booster shot.
It is.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
When I go shopping and I see one, as I carry on shopping, I'll take one of these, and as soon as I've paid, I'll be drinking it.
Yeah.
As it so happens, I'm going to advertise them a bit. It is an M&S one, but I think you could actually make it yourself.
Yeah, I reckon you probably could.
You probably could. It would be cheaper, maybe, but could you be bothered? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
On a busy day. I didn't get them from any health food shops. So there's me. I mean, this is my fruit. I don't dwell, and I don't encourage people to dwell. Have I had my 5 a day? And panicking, no, I haven't. And beating themselves up because they've had a bad day. Like they might have gone out and just not really had a nourishing day. Doesn't matter. You know, just as healthy as you can. I think the more you agonise about it, the worse it is. So just enjoy your food.
That sounds like a good plan, that. Plan of action.
Yeah. I mean, strawberries, I love strawberries. They might not be your cup of tea. Papayas are great.
Papaya. I don't think I've ever had a papaya.
I've got some if you want to taste.
I'd love to try some papaya.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great idea.
I'm going to give you some. And a little bit of yogurt. I mean, I know people say fat-free, but I've actually found things that are fat-free are sugared. Added sugars.
Yeah.
So I don't go for fat-free. And I'll tell you, especially a woman as you get older, you need those fats.
Yeah.
You need a good tablespoon of virgin olive oil or the equivalent.
Yeah.
And I think I prefer I prefer butter to marge. Just don't overfill. There's your hands. Don't overfill. But enjoy. You're only here once. Enjoy.
Yeah. I think that's a good takeaway
and
from it.
And if you want your drink, have it with your meals. And if you want your chocolate, have it with your meals.
Yeah.
And remember, if you're taking in a lot, you need to do more exercise and burn it off a bit.
Yeah. And obviously, there's loads of stuff on your YouTube channel to do with like stretches and exercises that can help you burn off the naughty things you eat. But like you say, it's, you know, if you can fit it in your hands, which is your stomach, then it's...
And you'd be surprised,
free for all,
actually,
really,
if you
isn't it?
filled your hands, it makes a full salad plate.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a full dinner plate.
Yeah. And I think that's like, the mindset is that, you know, plates have gotten bigger over time because the grander something looks, the more expensive it looks and the better it looks.
I know, and then you think to yourself, well, you know what, if it's meant to be it, if that's the size, but it isn't.
No.
You know,
I guess in like the Victorian era and before, plates were a lot, you know, smaller. And as the rich became richer, the plates became bigger.
And the food became more expensive.
Yeah, so
people's bellies became bigger.
You can sort of see the pattern of it. So it's getting back to basics, isn't it? I guess is what you're saying.
I mean, I'm going to be putting out a load more on my YouTube about food. But I think, firstly, we need to tell people enjoyment. It is a pleasure. Food is a pleasure. And it's your fuel. You wouldn't think, well, I'm not going to put that in my engine. I'm not going to fill my car up, would you?
Yeah.
You just need to eat as healthy as you can. And ideally, everybody would eat organically and they do this, that and the other, but it's so bloody expensive.
Yeah, but it is.
You know, families are just eat the best you can. And I'll tell you another thing. Soup. Make your own soup.
Yes, I've had your soup before, and your soup is very good.
Just throw everything in but the kitchen sink. And if you've got a little bit of cooked chicken or cooked meat, you can add that into it, or you can cook a bit of beef or chicken in it. Use everything. Put every herb and spice, thicken it up, enjoy it. Not a lot of salt.
Yeah.
Swells the tissues. But you can have Himalayan salt's good.
Yeah,
so fill yourself up with soup. The thing is, if you're nutrient dense at the end of the day, you won't be looking, you know, when people are watching telly, they need to just find something because they're not really satisfied.
Yeah.
And I would say to somebody who's seriously worried about the weight, while they're watching telly, instead of drinking wine, drink the soup.
Yeah.
How very boring, but then you can put a bit of wine in the soup.
Some people do that though. I've used white wine in soups before, especially like chicken, when you're cooking with chicken.
Well,
it is nice.
Then you can have a bit of it. I'll put some CBD oil in.
To be fair, I end up having the wine whilst I'm making the soup, so...
Well, you can have the wine with the soup.
Yeah,
because you've got all the vegetables of the soup. But you know what? You can't kid yourself because a proper glass of wine, it's about 250 empty calories
for
your body. wow, what it does for your head.
Well, yeah.
And what it does for your spirit. It's a spirit. So you've got to weigh it up. Don't cut out. Just enjoy.
Yeah, I think that's a good
So I don't
takeaway.
think I've got a boring day. And I do eat chips.
Oh, I think everybody, you got to have a bit of chips in your life.
I like chips in a newspaper with a bit of vinegar on.
Proper classic way.
Yeah.
Going up Blackpool Pier, that's what it is.
Oh, do you know what? What a good... Shall we do it?
Yeah,
Like
I'd love to do that. We'll be there in October, won't I? So.
Well, I'll come over.
Yeah, should do.
You're filming there. What are you doing?
I'm filming just a show up there in Blackpool, so it'll be...
Oh, I'm coming up.
You should do. Come up.
Go and get a chip butter.
Yeah, for sure. Right, well, I think we need to keep drinking this chamomile tea and tuck into some of this, I think.
We should.
Right, it's been amazing
Oh,
as
my
usual.
God. Yeah.
Cheers for that.
So I'm now going to make you a bagel. Use some of this, and some of this.
Perfect.
I'll make you very satisfied on your way home.
Oh,
So I bet you're glad you popped in today.
I know, it's always a treat coming to see you.
Oh.
Always a treat.
You're my best third cousin.
That is very true. That is very true.